Hi there, friends. Welcome to Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. I'm so happy you're here on this Tuesday, May 27th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And I hope you all had a fabulous weekend. Mine was pretty good. I did some work, had some family time. We took Riley for her first miniature golf round, and she was quite funny, but yeah, it was fun. So, and our weather improved for Sunday and Monday, so that was nice, and I hope you all had a wonderful weekend as well. Today we are going to use the Extraordinary Flora Washi Tape again, and I'm going to show you two different ways to use it than the ways I showed you last week. So let me flip my camera around now so we can get started. While I'm doing that, please share this video and invite others to join us this afternoon. And if you're watching on replay later, please share as well. Let me just refresh your memory from last week. Last Thursday's Facebook Live, I featured the Extraordinary Flora stamp set with the die. And it's not a die set, it is a single die. This is a single stamp, so you can stamp all those and die cut all those. And here is one simple and elegant card I made with that, just showing that you can size your cardstock and do one stamp, stamping of this particular stamp with lots of floral images and no die cutting. On the second one, I used that same stamp and created background, and then I stamped again onto white cardstock colored with watercolor pencils. You can use any of your favorite coloring tools, and then I die cut those. So quick and easy cards, fun, and simple yet elegant cards. So if you missed that, you can find that on stampinpeace.com or my YouTube channel, Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. The Tuesday before then, I showed you how to actually adhere the washi tape to a piece of cardstock and then die cut it. And then we used those die cut washi tape images to create these cards. And these cards show you that the washi tape actually comes in two different colors. It has the purples and then it has the pinks. So I'll be using both of those today as well and showing you two different ways that you can use the washi tape today. So if you remember when I made all these cards last week and die cut all those pieces, those images from the washi tape, I had a lot of little pieces left over, correct? So my first two cards, I'm showing you two ways to use some of those pieces that were left over. Let me see if I got them all out here. There we go. So let me just start by putting my card base and card front together. I'm using basic beige cardstock, and that is my card base, 8.5 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4 down the center. I have a layer of garden green cardstock that measures 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm layering that onto another piece of basic beige that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So I just have a small border there, and I'm not going to adhere that just yet. So I die cut. So I'm going to use these pieces that I had left over from last Tuesday's Facebook Live, where we put the washi tape on a piece of white cardstock and then die cut all the pieces. Then I die cut the smallest squares from the Stylish Shapes dies. And what I'm going to do is add these pieces mostly with dimensionals, but I will use a little bit of liquid glue as well. And I'm adhering these so that with the square in more of a diamond shape instead of square. Okay, so I turn that to the diamond shape. As you know, when we're using this beautiful washi tape, or even the stamp and coloring and die cutting, we have to have a way to use all those little itty bitty pieces up. And that's why I wanted to show you this today. So this leaf I'm actually going to add with multi-purpose glue. And do something like this. Whoops. And then I'll add this purple flower with a mini dimensional. This mini size dimensional really comes in handy when working with small pieces like this. Now what I'm going to do is put these onto my layers in a vertical position, just like that. Okay. And to do this, I'm going to use a little puddle of glue on the back of each one so that I can move these about if I need to, because I want to line them up and have some good spacing between them. And this liquid glue allows me to do that. If you have grid paper or the glass mat that has the grid on, anything that has a grid or a sharp line, what I'm doing is positioning my first one so the top point is along one of those lines and then matching it to the bottom using that same line. And then I'm just going to move that middle one around so that it is centered between the top and bottom square. I'm going to give this a moment to dry, but I don't want to wait too long. And I don't want those to move. So I'm going to drop my silicone craft sheet on top and just press with a flat, firm hand. For a few seconds. And before I add this to my card front, it's probably a little too much, I'm going to wrap it with some linen thread. And I'm actually doubling up the linen thread. I'm doubling it and then just going to tie it in front. Still a little long, but maybe I'll actually make a bow since I cut it a little too long. Let's see if I can do that. And I want this to fit around the layers so it's snug, but not so tight that it curls up on the sides or pulls into those sides, kind of damaging them. Okay, I'm going to trim these ends. That bow really is too far to the left of where I want it. So I'm just going to curl or bend those layers and slide that bow over. Maybe it's still a little too much. Slide it over to where I want it. So that's your tip for today. If your knot or your bow is not landing where you want it after you wrapped it around and tied it, you just want to curl or bend the cardstock, whatever is going around it, and then you can slide that knot or bow in either direction. I think this one wasn't quite dry because it seemed to move on me yet. Okay, I think it's okay now. And previously I went ahead and stamped With Love, With Love from the Extraordinary Flora stamp set. Of course, you can pull sentiments from anything you have to make this card for any occasion that you want or need. We're always about using our creativity and our own wants and needs to make it our own. Never feel like you have to copy me exactly or somebody else. If you want to, great. But otherwise, please feel free to put your own spin on the cards you see on social media. Okay, so there's card number 1. What do you think? A good way to use some of those leftover pieces, correct? I guess I should put my glasses on by now. All right, let's make another. For this one, I did use the Keen Weave embossing folder for the garden green background. This is on the last chance list. I believe it is maybe 10% off. So, but it's a really good neutral embossing folder, I'll say, for masculine or feminine cards. So this card is going to be very much the same. Oh, where's my bone folder? Here it is. Again, the card base is made with basic beige, 8.5 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4 down the middle. My cardstock layers are the same size as well. When I'm making a horizontal card this time instead of vertical, remember changing the orientation or the direction of a card is a great way to make a similar card but different. Okay, so I started with garden green that measured 5 by 3 3/4. I embossed it with the Keen Weave embossing folder, and I'm going to adhere it to a piece of basic beige that measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So same size as the layers on my first card. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to my card front with some dimensionals. Just centering it right in the front. I'm going to add these extra pieces to my die cut squares. Again, that's the smallest square from the Stylish Shapes dies. Stylish Shapes has, let me think, banners, circles, and squares. It's a really good all around or essential or basic, maybe you want to call it, die set to have, because you can use it so much. And the fact that there are 4 sizes of each makes it super versatile. Once again, I'm going to put these leaves on with a tiny bit of multi-purpose glue. And then I'll add the purple blossom with a dimensional. Now this one is larger than the purple blossom on the first card, but that's what I had left. I was working with exactly what I had left. And there's actually a couple more. Beth, I like it this way too, with the squares turned and the points up, you know, more of a diamond shape. It just adds a little more interest to the cards. And now I'm going to add these to this strip of basic beige. It measures 5 by 1 3/4. 5 by 1 3/4. And again, I'm not going to press these diamond shaped squares, whatever, into place until I have all 3 on there, in case I need to slide them around to create, see there, some even spacing or better spacing. Let me take this to a line. I'm trying to see if I can, if my top and bottom point line up on the same line. That looks pretty good. Same thing over there, and this needs a little bit of adjustment, which is why I used the liquid glue. You get a little more time to work the pieces, place them exactly where you need them. And the fact that I put a little puddle or a large dot of glue in the center also helps. If I had spread the glue really thin on each of those back pieces, it would have made it much harder to slide those around. And then I'm just going to add this to my card front. I'm not putting a sentiment on this. Certainly you can. You can even add one to the inside. I think that looks pretty straight. And the very last thing I'm going to do is add a bow made of linen thread. So again, these 2 cards were made using pieces I had left over from when I die cut the washi tape for last Tuesday's cards. So you want to check that out, the May 20th. Or watch it on stampinpiece.com or my YouTube channel, Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe. It's easier to find there than it is finding a replay here on Facebook. Plus, when you look at it on my blog, stampinpiece.com, it has dimensions for all the card pieces there. So you don't have to rush through a video or spend your time going back and forth on a video and rewinding to get the measurements. Okay, what do you think? First 2 cards. I have 2 more I'm going to make with you. They're essentially the same card, but different color schemes, because I'm working with the 2 different color schemes of the Extraordinary Flora Washi Tape. So, excuse me. And I just have a little strip on the end. It just was helping me cut that. But here's a tip. I'm going to cover each of these pieces of white. These measure 5 by 3 1/4. Okay, 5 inches by 3 1/4. It's the exact same width as the washi tape is. Here's a tip for you to make this easy when you're laying this out on cardstock. If you can adhere your cardstock to either your work surface or the glass mat, if you work with that, even the silicone craft sheet, it will be very helpful to you. It'll be much easier to adhere, okay? So I'm just going to start by pulling off some. And that looks pretty good. And what I'm really going for here is matching up the sides of the washi tape with the sides of the cardstock. And here you can see I got a little bubble or wrinkle. So I'm just going to pull it back. And now I'm just going to slide my hand across as I'm adhering the washi tape. Okay. Now right here, I'm going to cut. I'm sorry, my hands are, let me try again. Tremors are showing up. I'm just gliding the blade of my paper snips along the cardstock, and I can cut the washi tape. I'm also going to do it on this other end where I started. Using the open blade as my guide. And you can see there's some adhesive there, but it picked right up. Not a problem. And now I'm going to get these out of the way for now. I'm going to do the same thing with the washi tape, but it will have the other color combination. And I just kind of ripped that, didn't I? I think I can manage to make it work even with that rip. We'll see, won't we? You can call me cheap, but you know what? We got to save money where we can so we can buy more stamps later. Stamps and fun products, I would say. Okay, now I'm just going to press or pull and unwind and then press with my left hand. Again, if you have a wrinkle or a bubble, you can pull it up and go back and smooth over again. Easy peasy. And if it's a tiny little wrinkle at the very end and you're having trouble getting it, no worries. It's not a big deal. Okay, and here's a tip. And this will prevent you from, prevent your washi tape from ripping when you pull it up next time. Just add a strip of cardstock, okay, to the end. It'll make it easy for you to pull that washi tape up without it ripping, okay? See that? And that's how I store mine, just standing up like that. Okay, now we need to do something with these. I am not going to, oh, shaky hands, please cooperate. You know, I just keep on going. I cannot give up crafting because my hands shake. We all deal with something. And this really is small beans. So thank you for your patience and understanding when sometimes it takes me a little longer. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see here. I've got the pieces for the first card cut. My card base is Pretty Peacock, and it measures 8.5 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4 down the middle. Okay, and really I was matching up with the leaves, okay? That's all I did. So you can even just, you know, hold this up to different colors of cardstock and see what combinations appeal to you. So I'm going to add the cardstock with washi tape. Again, that was 5 by 3.5 inches. And I'm adding it to a piece of Petunia Pop that measures 5 1/8 by 3 3/8. 5 1/8 by 3 3/8. I will have all those dimensions up on my blog when I post this to stampinpeace.com. Doris, thank you. Then I took a piece of 4 1/4 inch by 3/4 inch Petunia Pop, and I punched each end with, is it Label Me? Lovely Label Punch. I can't remember, but it's out there. And it just gives you two different, like a ticket end punch and then a real small scallop punch. And what I love about this punch is that you can do strips of 1/2, 3/4, or 1 inch. And of course, you can make them any length you want them to be. And I'm putting it towards the bottom of the card, centering it from left to right. And then this Happy Birthday is from the Right Words stamp set. It's pretty new, just this month, I believe. And it's one of my favorite stamp sets. I love sentiments, and I love stamp sets that have a variety of sentiments for you to use for different reasons or occasions for sending cards. And this is a great one. Lots of fun fonts in that stamp set as well. So here is my Happy Birthday card. And now I want to finish off with that second bit of washi tape that I adhered to the basic white cardstock. So this time my card base is Garden Green, and I'm layering this on top of, if you have any little edges of the washi tape sticking out, I just kind of roll them over with my finger. That is easier to do than trimming when it's so teeny tiny, minuscule. So my strawberry slush is 3 3/8 by 5 1/8. So essentially it's the same card. I just changed up the color combination because of the different colors of the washi tape. And I think I hid my little rip pretty well. Just takes a little patience when you're doing that. There we go. Same thing, my strawberry slush measured 4 1/4 by 3/4 inches, and I punched each end with that scallop, small scallop end, and did the same thing for Happy Birthday. This is a 1/2 inch strip, 1/2 inch strip. And of course you would just make the length and the width of these banners whatever you need, whatever works for the sentiment that you're using. I didn't put any bling on my samples, but I feel like I need some bling here. Let's see. Okay, I think these will work. I'm going to add a large Strawberry Slush flat pearl. These are the new 2025 to 2027 in colors. Strawberry Slush you may be familiar with. You may even have some of that cardstock or ink because this was a previous in color many, many, many years ago, and it was one of my favorites. I was so excited when they were bringing it back. And I love the other in colors, but I still think Strawberry Slush is the bomb. Okay, let me see how these look. Okay, so Cloud Cover and Secret Sea. I really think you could use either one of these with the color scheme of this washi tape as well as the pretty peacock card base. What do you think? Good choice of embellishments? Of course, we have lots of embellishments. I know you have lots of embellishments as well. So I don't think we're ever at a loss for embellishments, are we? And oh, and here's my first two cards. Okay, so here I've given you two different ways to use the Extraordinary Flora Washi Tape. Margaret, I agree with you. I love the versatility of the washi tape. And when I first saw that it was 3 1/4 inches wide, I was like, uh-oh, I don't know about this. When I saw it coordinated with a bundle, and this was the die to cut all that off, then I thought, okay, I'm in. But now we found ways to use the washi tape both as a full sheet. I say a sheet, but you know what I mean. Pulling off that much. Or adhering it to white and die cutting and using the small individual pieces. So I love them all. I also love how I took the basic layout of this one, turned it to the opposite direction, and then stepped it up by adding an embossed layer and as well as another strip of cardstock. So I hope you love these as much as I do. I will be giving all of these away today. So if you would like your name put into the drawing for one of these cards, please type in the comments now. Let's see, we've used washi tape. I think we've used Extraordinary Flora or Flora. How about, I don't know, thoughts? Strawberry Slush. Strawberry Slush. That's my favorite in color. So let's do that one. Strawberry Slush. Ugh. Strawberry Slush. That's a mouthful to say fast. Okay, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's demonstration, and I look forward to seeing you again this Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, here on Facebook, Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. And hopefully by then I will have these loaded to my blog with all of the dimensions, products I used, the video, etc. And I'll also put the video on my YouTube channel, Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. So those are the two best places to watch replays. Okay, stampinpeace.com and YouTube, Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. And I'm not sure what I'm showing on Thursday. It'll be a surprise for both of us at this point. I've got a couple things in mind, and I'm just deciding which direction I want to go. All right, everybody, until we meet again, have great days and happy stamping. Bye-bye.